So much, you may even get tired of winning, and you'll say, please, please, it's too much winning. We can't take it anymore. Mr. President, it's too much. And I'll say, no, it isn't. We have to keep winning. We have to win more. We're going to win more.
What's going on, everyone? What a great day of Patriot victories, basking in the glow of total and utter complete Patriot domination. In the Texas primaries yesterday, it was my great honor to participate in the curb stomping of John Cornyn. Literally every single vote that I cast yesterday was for a winning candidate. Every single one, straight up winning, all across the ballot. This is what it's like living in Trump's America. For patriots, patriots are way up.
White males way up. White males have gone through the roof. White males way up.
James Tallarico does not count because James Tallarico is not a male. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. This will be a short show. I've just got a handful of things. It's a bonus LABE. Normally wouldn't go live on a Wednesday. So he says, even though I've gone live on many a Wednesday. But yeah, this is a bonus one. This is an anniversary LABE. Mrs. Kingpilled and I have now been married. Legally, according to the law, we have been bound to one another for all eternity for 8 years. It has been eight years. They've been long, not bad. They've just been long, and at the same time, it's like 8 years. Man, that went fast. So she told me that I should go in honor of our anniversary. I should go do a stream and make a little money. So thank you to 7 Percenter for the early contribution to the tip goal here tonight. She sent $50 and said Eastwood needs from his MAGA grandma. Gaga, you have competition. 7 Percenter. Eastwood is gonna have more than one MAGA grandma. Thank you for the $50, ma'am. I appreciate you deeply. You'll notice that I set the goal at 300 today, a little lower because this will be a shorter stream. I'm gonna talk about a few things here related to the events of last night, and then whatever remaining time I have, I'll just scroll the timeline and see what's going on give you guys a little peek behind the curtain of what the King Pill timeline looks like, and just kind of kill some time until my sister needs to be picked up from work. And then back to our regularly scheduled programming. My plan is to stay up. I took some Benadryl last night, got a good 8 hours of sleep, and my plan is to stay up and get a bunch of work done this evening, tonight, and then do the show in the morning. I may hit a wall at some point in the wee hours of the morning, as sometimes happens, and so I may need to take a little nap. So it may be early in the morning, maybe later in the morning, noon. We'll see. I'm not going to lock myself into anything directly, but just be prepared for LABE tomorrow and Friday, and then Saturday we are going to have another pseudo-LABE, and he has already told me what the main feature will be. This Saturday, for the Great Pseudo-Wave, we will be watching Black Hawk Down. He said it's been enough time, it had to happen. This is one of those that you knew was eventually going to make its way into a pseudo production. So Black Hawk Down on Saturday, presented to us pseudo style. Make sure you guys show up for that. last night ended up being even more exciting than I expected. I have a suburban dad got a nice adrenaline experience yesterday. So this area where we live, the particular location that we live, maybe a 5 or 10 mile radius around us, is just so happens to have there's like a dome effect here, and all the weather, like the big weather fronts that come up. Willie!
Happy anniversary. May God grant you many more years together.
Thank you, Willing. Deeply appreciate you. And also thank you to Pale Morning Dude for the 500 kicks earlier. I threw those into the goal. We'll count those tonight. Thank you, Willing. Appreciate you, man. So yeah, there's this particular location where we live that all of the weather that comes through tends to just sort of skirt around us. It wraps around where we're at, and we get like 30 to 50% of what's forecast everywhere. Just a few miles up that way, a few miles up that way. We happen to be spared the majority of it. So the whole time we've lived in Texas, we get the big storm warnings and we get a lot of rain. That's a big thing, but we've almost never gotten hail. The winds are usually less here. The rain is usually less here. So for our entire time in Texas, basically, we've been used to hear a big scary storm forecast, batten down the hatches. Like, I can't tell you how many times we've gone and quickly piled in all of the stuff that we have filling the garage, cleared out all the toys and everything so we could get the truck inside in case there was a hailstorm, and then there was nothing. It just ended up being rain. Dozens of times we've done this. So we've gotten used to just being kind of like, okay, yeah, if they say there's going to be a bad storm, dial it down by 50 to 70%, and you're probably going to be fine. But you always have to kind of be careful because you don't want to get caught out that one time. The last thing we need is to have the truck ride out a hailstorm and have a big insurance claim and everything. We just don't need that. So I have like alerts and stuff. I have the weather app that I just kind of keep track of what's going on, and then I'm just interested in watching the weather patterns and seeing how they're moving and changing because I'm autistic like that. But yesterday there was like, oh yeah, maybe you're going to get a little bit of rain in the evening, and there's kind of some storms that are up northwest of us. There's always storms up northwest of us. And there was like a little one that was kind of down that might look like it could touch us. We get a little rain or something like that. I saw, it said we were supposed to get 1.5 inches of rain over the next 24 hours. So it was like, okay, we're going to get some rain, but no biggie. So my little sister is out working, and she's out in the fields, she's on a farm, big open plains, working with horses. And so I texted her and I said, hey, just so you know, it looks like there's actually the hail forecasts are getting a little closer to us and staying pretty large. So it looks like it's supposed to hit us maybe around 10. So if you could be ready to go at 9:30, that'd be great. I'm going to swoop in, I'll grab you, and we'll just get back home and get the truck inside and just be safe. So I'm out at the farm waiting to pick her up, and basically at 9:30, I start realizing, yeah, no, it's gonna hit us before we leave. Like we're gonna catch the storm now. So I'm just like crossing my fingers, and I'm sitting there watching. It's totally dark out there because I'm out in the middle of the field. Town lights are a ways away, and I'm just sitting there with my facing straight ahead at the storm as it's coming in, and intense lightning. The lightning this year has been different than past years since we've been in Texas. So I keep track of these things subconsciously. I just kind of monitor them. I'm regularly monitoring the situation around the neighborhood, and weather patterns is one of them. And so the lightning has just had a different character to it. There's been a lot more really prominent, visible cloud to ground strikes, and a lot more of them that are doing like the Christmas tree thing, where there's like a strike and then like one big bar that comes down and then a bunch of branches that come out. And then also these ones that are like they go across the entire sky. They're like this sort of fleeting, like flickering fingers that go skittering across the sky. A lot more of those than in the past. So I'm just sitting out here watching this. Like, oh, this is incredible. The rain starts just dumping on us. And I'm like, all right, that's all good. The only concern is just that there's maybe half a dozen like low points that we have to drive through that always flood every time there's a big rainstorm. So I'm just kind of like keeping track of about how much rain has gone down, and I'm subconsciously monitoring, okay, so if I drive this way, I could take that road and back around this way, and I could avoid that low spot. And I'm sitting here doing this math in my head, and it is just absolutely pissing rain, just dumping. And I see my sister booking it across the field. She's running up to me, just completely drenched head to toe. And as she's running up to the truck, all of a sudden the emergency alert thing goes off on my phone, and it says tornado warning, and it's like probably 8 miles southeast of us, which is where that storm is coming from, 8 miles southeast, headed up toward us, and I was like, oh, okay, this is. We have not had a legitimate tornado warning since we've been here. We're kind of just out of the tornado territory, very intentionally. And Spud Rocket says it has to do with the weakening magnetic field. You're not imagining it. Yeah. My sister said she actually saw one the other day that was different colors. It was like green and pink and purple, along with the normal like white or yellow or whatever. So weird things are happening. But so she the tornado warning goes off. And Amy's texting me, and she's keeping track of the Facebook groups, and she's watching some channel, monitoring what's going on, and then she says the tornado's on the ground in this neighborhood, just a little bit like 1.5 neighborhoods over from us, and I'm like, all right, we need to GTFO, we need to get back home as quick as possible. And so I started driving back, and I was boogieing. I'm hauling it down these roads because I'm trying to beat the rain, because the big flood of like flash flooding that'll come through those ditches. I didn't want to get caught in one of those, and I didn't want to get cut off, surrounded by all of them, and not be able to go anywhere. And it's dark, and I'm trying to figure out if there's a tornado coming down around us anywhere. So I'm hightailing it, and I told her every time the lights flashed, every time there's a flash of lightning, like look around and see if you can see silhouettes. I'm keeping an eye out for like lights going out from power outages or anything like that. And it was the most intense dump of rain I've ever experienced in my life. It was an insane amount of rain. And I'm driving back through an area they're doing a bunch of road work, and they've got the lane is super narrowed down with a concrete barrier. There's no shoulder. There's just like the line and a concrete barrier. And I couldn't see shit. I finally managed to get a truck in front of us so I could follow him and have the benefit of both of our headlights. And I'm just desperately trying to gauge the distance between approximately where the headlights are on this side, and then it should be about that far over there, and that would be the other side of the lane is. Otherwise, I couldn't see it at all. So just hauling it back, and I go all the way up and around and did a big long detour, and Amy texts me and says we're in the laundry room. And so I'm sitting here, I'm thinking, like, is there a spot where I could stop? And I guess like if a tornado actually came through our neighborhood, because our neighborhood's not super far from some of the more kind of open plainsy areas. So like if a tornado came through our neighborhood, would it be better to have the truck separate from it? So like there's damage to the house and all of our things, but like not the truck. But then I'm like, no, I'm not going to like let my wife and kid ride out a tornado by themselves. So I'm trying to navigate around the floods and everything. Finally came through an area where I was hauling, and there was a guy in the lane next to me, and I hit a bunch of standing water, and pushing the limits of what was probably safe, and just huge, massive waves of water going back over, and the guy behind me just pulled back away from me, and I was like, yeah, buddy, sorry, I got somewhere to be. And so we hit this big pool of water, and it actually made us hydroplane, and I was going maybe, it's a 25 mile an hour zone, and I was going like 35 or 40 maybe, and so hydroplaned and booped off of the curb, and was just kind of like ping-ponging my way down, pulled in, jumped in, ran inside. We jumped inside the laundry room, and right as we opened the door to go in, there was a strike that happened. It had to have been within a mile or something of us. Just the strike and the sound at the exact same time, and it wasn't like a deep muffled rumble. It was a deafening, loud, high-pitched clapping sound. It was insane. So it ended up being, we got just an insane amount of rain yesterday, flooding everywhere, all over the place. A whole bunch of roads were shut down. Power lights are still down in some parts of the city right now. So got back to the house and we get all of us inside the laundry room and we're sitting there and it was like adrenaline dumping. I was like, whew, that was I haven't gotten a rush like that since I was a younger man. Lord Breezy says, I felt lightning shake things as much as any earthquake. Yeah, that was a bunch of them last night were like that. The whole, like the ground would rumble and shake and the windows would rattle. And some of it, there's a big clap of thunder, but it sounds like it's sort of muffled, like there's something kind of hiding the sound. There's something between you and the sound. And then there's the loud claps where it's like there's nothing between me and the thing that's generating the sound. I'm just getting it. I'm getting it raw. And then there's some of them that start out, they do like kind of a loud crash, and then it sounds like they're going to fade out pretty quickly, but they go into this really, really low rumble that persists. And you can feel it going from like the back of your head down your brainstem and down into your stomach. And it just sort of like rattles your guts for a little bit. It's crazy. What do they say about like the white people that when there's a storm coming, they all get out on the road and they're all like looking around, trying to see it? That's 100% me and my family. Amy says Eastwood had only been asleep for like 20 minutes when I took him into the laundry room. He got delirious and didn't get back to sleep until midnight. Yeah. Yeah, so that was, I like to think that was a message from the Lord. Just letting us know that this right here, Patriots are in control. We got a great demonstration of God's wrath yesterday. Yeah, the loud claps sound like God's wrath. We got a great demonstration of God's wrath yesterday, letting us know that we narrowly averted catastrophe. So you guys may have heard today that Ken Paxton didn't just beat John Cornyn. He absolutely obliterated John Cornyn. He humiliated John Cornyn. He was outspent like 10-1, which strange the Massey folk don't seem to pay much attention to this, but he was outspent like 10-1. John Cornyn has been in that Senate seat for I think it was 24 years. One of the few remaining paragons of Bush era containment conservatism. Completely steamrolled, just absolutely trucked by Ken Paxton, who has demonstrated himself time and time again to be when the times get rough, he is loyal. He sticks by the president. Remember, he was the one who filed the Texas v. Pennsylvania petition to the Supreme Court in 2020, challenging the election results. He was the one who did that. He put himself at great risk for that. He has been loyal to the cause. He is true MAGA through and through. And it was a great honor to contribute to the curb stomping of old John Cornyn yesterday. But it wasn't just Cornyn. It wasn't just Paxton winning. Beau French also won. And I can't believe that this guy managed to stay off my radar. Now I'm starting to see tweets from him. He's the Republican nominee for Texas Railroad Commissioner, which is, you might think, well, was the railroad commissioner? What does that have to do with anything? The railroad commissioner actually is like primary oversight of oil and gas regulations. So the Texas Railroad Commissioner is an extremely important political position in Texas. And this is the guy who describes himself as a father, entrepreneur, CEO, investor, and America first. All the patriots are following him. He posted this yesterday afternoon. Patriots are in control. And then January 26th, he said, mass deportations is the single most important issue. There is not even a close second. There are 100 million people who shouldn't be here. We have a lot of work to do in a very short time. This is Patriots in control. Beau French is our guy through and through. I've heard from so many Patriots now who know him, who all vouch for him. They're all like, "Oh, he hides his power levels. He's posting stuff like this in public and he's hiding his power levels." Lord Reese says, we refuse to rename the commission because that way people don't know how important it is. Yeah, the Railroad Commission. Lord Breezy's vouching for Beau French too. He says he used to be on my city council. Absolute patriot, Beau French. This was in January of this year. Saying 100 million people who shouldn't be here. A deportations maximalist, Beau French. And then I saw this one also yesterday. While he's on the ballot, Libs of TikTok says this is the new principal for Western Hills High School in Fort Worth. And he just quote tweets it with, deport. This is our guy. Yet another great and glorious victory. Donald Trump truly has executed a takeover of the GOP. Patriots are in the ascendancy. Also, Mays Middleton, the true MAGA AG candidate. And guess!
Patriots in control.
Patriots truly in control. Thank you, M. Guest, for that. Mays Middleton won as well, knocking off Chip Soy, the fake MAGA candidate. Remember, I read you guys the only two statements you needed to hear from it. Mays Middleton says, my job is as AG, is going to be enforcing Donald Trump's agenda. Chip Soy, on the other hand, said it's very important that Texas remain independent. The Texas governance remains independent regardless of who's in the White House. Yeah, take that subversive bullshit somewhere else, Chip Soy. Texas doesn't want it. Mays Middleton is the Republican candidate for Attorney General. And even my U.S. House rep, I don't even know anything about him. Yeah, I know that he's a handsome young Latino fellow who was endorsed by my president. So I voted for him. That's all I needed to know. I just went and looked for which candidates have been endorsed by my president. And if they haven't been, have they been endorsed by someone else who is close to my president? And I saw the names. I was like, all right. I wrote the names down to make sure I remembered them. I knew three of them already, but the other ones I wrote down to just in case. Gave a copy of it to my wife. She was like, I don't know who any of these people are. I don't know who I should vote for. And I said, let me just give you a cheat sheet. And all you have to do is just check the box next to these names. And she went in there and she checked the box next to those names. And, the problems of the 19th Amendment are actually, these are actually rather easily solved. See, she's just like, I don't know. You just tell me. So basically, I got 2 votes. That's how it works. This is why you need to find yourself a Floyd. You could double your vote by merely getting married. Lord Breezy says nobody's talking about Ken Paxton defeated AIPAC, almost like nobody actually cared about that. Yeah, actually, I've got. I had something here. Let me pull this up right now. Interstate Juche said, "Not a peep from the retard right." As Trump takes down one of the biggest Zionists on Capitol Hill, by the way. Senator Cornyn endorsed by leading American Jewish organizations, AIPAC and RJC. 2 of the largest Jewish organizations in America endorsed Senator John Cornyn for re-election. The American Israel Political Action Committee, or AIPAC, represents the interests of more than 5 million Jewish Americans, while the Republican Jewish Coalition operates 47 chapters around the United States. John Cornyn was AIPAC's guy. And, he just got his career ended in incredible fashion. Embarrassing fashion. Something like 30 points. This wasn't a narrow victory. This was a comprehensive victory for Ken Paxton. So it turns out that you can actually just primary sell out GOP politicians. Maybe you ought to try the strategy elsewhere first before deciding to vote Democrat out of frustration. So true, Notre Dame College Republicans. This is one of the ads that John Cornyn put together for this campaign.
Cuidándonos. El senador John Cornyn. El senador Cornyn ha luchado para detener el tráfico sexual, especialmente a lo largo de la frontera. él apoya la reforma policial. Y mientras el senador Cornyn está a favor de fronteras seguras, él apoya firmemente la legalización de los Dreamers.
I'm John Cornyn, and I approve this message.
Let me see. I got some of these a little out of order. So he puts together this ad. I think he also had one. I don't remember if it was this ad that he'd put together, but then didn't actually run. But it was accidentally made public from a YouTube channel or something like that. I don't know if it was this one or if it was another one that he made that was like super pro-Hindu. But this is just cornerstone obstructionist, sellout, containment, conservative con Inc. Okay, so here's this. Ken Paxton won 252 counties out of 254. 252 out of 254. The only two counties that John Cornyn won were Travis County, which is Austin, and Tiny Kennedy County, where he won 6 out of 8 votes. So in Kennedy County, there was 8 total votes. 6 of them went to Cornyn. That accounted for one of the counties that he won. The other one he won was Austin. Otherwise, Paxton completely cleaned house. Cornyn and the Senate Republicans spent more money on this campaign than any other Senate campaign in history and lost by double digits. Imagine what the GOP could have done with that money in the 12 House toss-up seats. Embarrassing hubris on display in Texas. Shame on you, Cornyn. Shame on you, Thune. The seat under John Thune is getting hotter every single day. Every single Republican primary election that passes just amplifies the inability for them to recognize that the party wants nothing to do with their obstructionist bullshit anymore. The party loves Trump. The party wants Trump's agenda. To the extent that the party is dissatisfied, it's because the party is not getting as much of Trump's agenda as they want. The Republicans need to recognize it's time to get out of the way. Get on board or get out of the way. Paxton is currently doing better with Hispanics than white voters. So Cornyn makes this ad about how he loves the Dreamers in Spanish. He makes this ad in Spanish about how great he is for brown South Americans. Thank you, Emperor Trades. And yet Paxton is doing better with Hispanics than white voters. Among mostly white voters, Paxton is plus 26. Among mostly Hispanic voters, Paxton is plus 27. Now, obviously there's a huge disparity here in the total votes. 604,000 white voters, 13,300 Hispanic voters at the time that this screenshot was taken. But then Seth Keshel, who very strongly recommend following, if you want to keep track of the midterms, what to expect, and know which races to pay attention to, you want some good analysis on it. Maybe you're a disenfranchised Richard Barris appreciator. You've realized that Barris is, like, it's questionable whether Barris is even doing polls or what he even considers a poll, and is obviously just trying to engineer outcomes, literally betting one way while sending out polling another way. Seth Keshel, much, much better. Seth Keshel is one of our most accurate election analysts. He says Paxton margins in El Paso, Hidalgo, Harris, and most of the Rio Grande Valley are outrunning his overall statewide margin and are highly suggestive that a MAGA candidate retains high Latino support in line with trends developing over the past 6 years. This is one of the debated things, is that Latinos are so upset about ICE. They voted for the mass deportations party, but then they started seeing mass deportations and they said, no, we want Democrats again. But it turns out, well, it doesn't turn out for sure. We don't know this for sure, but we're starting to see evidence that indicates that is not the case whatsoever. In fact, Republicans are continuing to absorb the Latino vote in larger and larger numbers, which is kind of crazy to think about. 10 years ago, Donald Trump shows up on the scenes calling Mexicans rapists, and in the eyes of most people. And who would have thought that 10 years later, he would actually be one of the primary reasons why Hispanics began abandoning the Democrat Party? You can think about this whatever you want. It's just a fact of life that the United States is going to be heavily influenced by Hispanics. There's deep ancient history in the United States of Spanish influence, and it's going to persist. It's going to stay here. It's not going away anytime soon. There is not a single policy platform that you could do anything on that would somehow diminish either Spanish influence or black influence. Like, there's going to be blacks and Spanish people in the United States for forever. These are core parts of the American ethnos. And again, I'm not saying that's I'm not advocating that be the case. I'm objectively recognizing that is the case. Here's a sort of an oblique example of how this is the case.
Would Americans rather have illegal Mexicans or legal Indians? More than 40,000 votes have been cast, and look at the results. Nearly 82% preferred illegal Mexicans. Only 18% said legal Indians.
Listen, this only works if we're going to be honest with one another. I'm surprised you got double digits. See, American and Mexican history are intertwined. They go together like Tapatio and titties. Both great by themselves, but a whole lot of fun when they're together. They're like cool Canadians, you know? They're our neighbor. They gave us cowboy boots and tacos, and we gave them a whole lot of ass whoopings when they had land that we really wanted. And their own people back. Our cultures are intertwined in a way. Also, they'll work for minimum wage. Y'all will work for a hospital or for Amazon gift cards. There's no in between. Here's where we have to be honest with one another, okay? The question wasn't, do you hate Indians? The question was, do you like Mexicans more? And the answer is yes. Now, before you get mad, let me ask you this. Would you let a Pakistani man make you his Punjabi? Yeah, that's what I thought. The simple fact of the matter is we all have lists. I wrote mine down. That probably does make it a bit worse, but let's not focus on that. We have a hierarchy of our favorite to least favorite people. And if you would like to know where you land on my list, don't worry. I'm going to be posting it on my MySpace in the form of my top friends. You're welcome. We're all equal. No, we're not. Stop saying that. In a perfect world, yes, but that's not the world we live in. And most of the time when people are saying that shit, they're pretty low on the totem pole. And I'm not going to give you a statistical boost back to the median. You fucking loser. Do that shit yourself. Long story short, burritos are better than curry. I'm not saying I don't like curry. If you make the world's greatest portable edible plate, you got to give them the flowers, you know? Also, we're the world's #1 producer of beef. I'm going to let that one marinate. See what I did there? I already know some of the comments. Oh, this is coming from an American white man. I'm higher on more lists than you. Eat my ass. Get fucked, cunts. Merch links in bio. Okay, bye.
I liked the guy up until the last 8 seconds or so, and then I loved the guy.
I already know some of the comments. Oh, this is coming from an American white man. I'm higher on more lists than you. Eat my ass. Get fucked, cunts. Merch links in bio. Okay, bye.
So true. So incredibly true. I do not vouch for Kyle Seraphin. The guy seems like a fag. Yeah, this is just this is representative of probably the median opinion in the country. We'd much rather have. That doesn't mean we want to have illegal Mexicans, but I would rather have illegal Mexicans than visa holding Indians. If you give me that choice, 100%, not even close, not remotely. Because the thing about Mexicans is they've got a long, deep history with European culture. The majority of them are already heavily influenced by Christianity. They've got their own weird pagan like desert demons and stuff that I guess they're like jungle demons. They're pagan jungle demons and stuff. They have that influence there, of course, but they have been being Christianized for centuries, and that bears out in the cultural expression and the habits and the assimilative capacity of the people into a Christian nation. We already have a very strong genetic linkages to them. If you're basically any variant of European, you've got much closer genetic linkages to South Americans than you do to East Asians. Yeah, so James Tallarico is the guy now that they're saying is going to be like, this is one of the reasons why they the Con Inc. types wanted Cornyn, because they said, oh, Paxton's like too radical and too aggressive, and the squishy center is going to be afraid of him, and this will make James Tallarico a real contender for that Senate seat. And so that's why we need Cornyn. We need the avuncular, sort of old, harmless dude who panders to Indians and Mexicans. But we've seen this before. This is not the first time that they have tried this game, and it has failed every time before. And now we're getting the worst iteration of it. There is nothing that is... James Tallarico is creepy. And what I love to see... Why do they all look like that? Yeah. What I love to see is everyone immediately falling into lockstep that the word for James Tallarico is weird. Bottom O'Rourke. Yeah, right. Bottom O'Rourke. That's so good. He is weird. Remember how they tried to make J.D. Vance weird? The problem is that J.D. Vance is not weird. J.D. Vance is John Normalson. He is everything except for weird. James Tallarico is fucking weird. He's just weird. This is such a powerful... Scott Adams would be exultant at the way that the GOP the GOP machine, the Trump GOP machine, has gone into lockstep on this immediately. Stephen Miller has been going ham. He says large quantities of soy. And then he also said, Democrats said, fired up, ready to go. It's time to take back Texas, with Tallarico doing the pose from the famous Beto ad. They're literally just doing a shitty rerun. They're so confident here. Fired up, ready to go. It's time to take back Texas. Stephen Miller says the Democrats made history in Texas by nominating their first transgender Senate candidate. Stephen Miller fucking hates James Tallarico. He has dialed it up to another level. Now that James Tallarico, it's like all guns pointed, rhetorically speaking, at James Tallarico. Stephen Miller just straight up says that he's their first transgender candidate. Suitable Politic, Derek said, Democrats are so far past caring about rhetoric that they actually believe this guy can run as a moderate in Texas. To them, he's a white male, probably straight. That is their version of running a moderate. The problem being, the rest of the country still cares what you say. This is James Tallarico.
In Sunday school, that Jesus Christ himself was a radical feminist. The American flag is such a complicated symbol for most of us. God is non-binary.
You can't call yourself a Christian and reject the stranger seeking asylum at our southern border.
Our trans community needs abortion care too.
Modern science obviously recognizes that there are many more than two biological sexes. In fact, there are 6.
Prophetic voices like Jesus have helped me reckon with my own whiteness. Our southern border should be like our front porch. There should be a giant welcome mat out front. We are trying to fundamentally change the politics in this state and in this country.
You're gay!
To sit and cry over, your whiteness or your masculinity. Did they teach you in Sunday school that
James Tallarico is weird? Here's another ad. I played the one for you the other day where they called him Low T Tallarico. So that was an ad that was targeted at one particular type. Here's an ad that's targeted at another particular type.
Move over, Davy Crockett. There's a new Texas trailblazer in town, and their name is James Tallarico. The man who bragged, our office is the first in the history of Texas to add pronouns to our official business cards.
I am running around like a crazy person today,
spreading his white skin wherever he goes.
I am not a perfect Christian. Prophetic voices like Jesus have helped me reckon with my own whiteness, my own masculinity, and it's a painful process.
Bearing the cross of white skin and unambiguous masculinity.
I was a big nerd in high school. Never played sports. I probably shouldn't out myself like this. Sex is a spectrum, and oftentimes it can be very ambiguous.
God is both masculine and feminine and everything in between.
This nigga makes Pete Buttigieg look charismatic.
God is non-binary.
Straight from Revelations
Woke James
in the
Bible.
Woke James Bible.
I want us all to be aware of that. There are many more than 2 biological sexes. In fact, there are 6.
And on the 7th day, they rested. But not James Tallarico. He built an ark big enough for all creatures.
To be able to write legislation that benefits not just the people, but also our animal friends.
Just like the Supreme Court said, 1 cow, 1 vote.
Now, existential, that we try to reduce our meat consumption. That's the right thing to do and the moral thing to do.
The 11th commandment, thou shalt not smoke brisket.
I am proud to say that our campaign has officially...
They're calling him Tick Disease Tallarico.
...become a non-meat campaign.
So step aside, Sam Houston. Tallarico's bravery towers over Texas. He's fighting for all 6 genders and tens of thousands of species.
I guess we just have a different moral yardstick.
You know what insults Jesus?
Binary white people who eat barbecue and remember the Alamo?
There's only been one perfect Christian.
And they certainly weren't a carnivorous Caucasian binary Homo sapien, according to the woke Gospel of James.
They're gonna call me a radical leftist, un-Texan, un-American.
And bar none, the weirdest candidate for Senate the Lone Star State has ever seen.
Devastating. Lord Breezy said, dude, he has been made to be abused in a Texas election. This is cruel. It's cruel and unusual punishment. This is a hate crime by the Democrat Party. Putting this guy up to run in Texas. You can say all you want about how squishy Texas has gotten, but this guy is basically precisely tuned to rally the latent jock in Texas. The dude who just sees someone and it's like predator instincts kick in. This guy is prey. We must hunt him down. We must abuse him. He's going to get fucking crushed. It's going to be devastating. The woke James Bible. There was something else. I was thinking, so you have the alpha gal syndrome from the ticks. And so there's like, but he's not an alpha gal. He's like a beta boy, alpha gal. There's got to be something in here connecting him to the ticks because he has his anti-meat thing. So he's like pro alpha gal or something like that. Yeah. Even queers think he's queer. I have a strong urge to give a wedgie. Yeah, no kidding. A good point here from Unseen One. He said, I want to point out again that you do not get the result that you got in Texas if the president has an approval rating in the low 30s. Either the results are fake or the polls are fake. You be the judge. This is the thing. Like, people have been just badgered with poll numbers and people.
Perfect gift.
Lurch!
Money. Happy anniversary.
Thank you, my friend. It's Eastwood's voice. I want to hear it again.
The perfect gift.
Money. Happy anniversary.
You'll always know if you use the $29 tip, you'll always get it played multiple times. Thank you, Lurch. Both the polls and Polymarket. Now, Polymarket is the new thing that they've been using to try to rig elections by the numbers. It's bizarre to me that people even take this seriously. How is it not immediately evident? For a little bit, I didn't even take this seriously as a story. Because people are like, oh, it looks like Polymarket actually isn't accurate. I'm like, you fucking think? What makes you think that it would be accurate? Do you understand how Polymarket odds work? It's literally just people betting on a possibility. And most of these markets are exceptionally small. In terms of fixing elections, There are thousands of people and organizations in the country that would happily shit out tens of millions of dollars to spread across a bunch of different polymarket bets to rig the odds of it. You would have to have an enormous. I mean, I feel like you'd probably have to have at least, I don't know, 100, 300, 500 million dollars in a pool before you could start being able to believe the actual odds that are there. It's one thing to bet on a, I don't know, like a sports outcome or something like that. And there is data, or there is signal that you can get from that if you're trying to, for like fantasy sports. This is one thing that they'll do, is they'll look at the betting markets and they'll see odds on which players are most likely to do the best or whatever, because you recognize that you've got the cumulative, you've got all the normies or whatever, people who are just betting on what they hope for, but those get kind of crowded out by the smart money that comes in and actually can move the market. But then the market itself becomes a target itself. So then, it ceases to become a good metric after a period of time, because people start gaming the market to play the game of the market rather than the game of the actual performance that the market is based on. But when it comes to political campaigns, like, you don't think that people wouldn't dump millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars into intentionally gaming these polls just so they can write a headline that says, "Oh, look, James Tallarico is 87% most likely to win." And you go and you look, and it's like $212,000 or something in that particular pool. This is what these results are showing is, number one, that the president is is so popular with his own party that his general approval rating could not possibly be that low, because of how overwhelmingly positive his party is toward him. And then downstream from that is the fact that what was the other thing I was going to say? He's obviously very, very popular with his own party. And then furthermore, the MAGA contingent of the party, which is the majority of the party, is very highly motivated. They're turning out, they're getting connected in, and they're plugging into this. What typically will happen with midterms is that you get low propensity voters, people who aren't as likely to vote, just don't turn out for the midterms because it's not on their radar. They're not plugged in, they're not paying attention. It's more wonkish, and it's when there's a president on the ballot, that's when they turn out for it. But already these midterms have been way more high profile than past midterms have been in terms of penetrating into the general consciousness of people. And because of some of these high-profile characters like Spencer Pratt, like Ken Paxton, like the Indiana Republicans, that whole thing, this is in the redistricting tied to the Supreme Court. This has pulled the midterms thing, and people being like, but wait till the midterms. But what about the midterms? Here comes the midterms. What's going to happen in the midterms? This sort of conversation is just a constant, perpetual drumbeat. So people are much more tuned into it. And to cap it all off, they're doing a convention, a midterms convention. Normally these aren't done because you're not having like a party making a nomination for someone, which is what the conventions are built around. But they're doing a convention this year, a midterms convention. I believe they're doing it in September, and Trump is going to be campaigning for the midterms. So he's going to force it onto people's radar. So midterms turnout is going to be higher this midterms than previously. And clearly, the MAGA base is super energized. And as the whole thing with Matt Dines and Bismarck that I played the other day, winning begets winning. The more you win, the more people want to win. And the more people want to side with the winning side. Here's a poll from Economist and YouGov. Is Trump endorsing MAGA candidates against incumbent Republicans a good idea or a bad idea? This is a poll amongst Republicans. So what you've got here is a subset of Republicans who are likely to wind up answering an Economist YouGov poll. And what they say is 51% say it's good. 15% say it's bad. So it's good for Trump to endorse MAGA candidates against incumbent Republicans at a plus 36 rate. And you can see the numbers here are pretty low. So there's what would this be? 34% are ambivalent. Like 34% are like, whatever, I don't care. This is Donald Trump's 2026 endorsement scorecard thus far. Just to drive home the point that the party is in full and complete revolt against establishment Republicans.
Races and Senate races. This is his scorecard, okay? He has endorsed 8 governors. Now, some of these races weren't real close, didn't have a lot of competition, but some of them did. I mean, we saw what happened in Louisiana, the primary of Bill Cassidy. We saw what happened a week ago tonight with Tom Massey in Kentucky. And now we're seeing it again tonight, okay, in Texas. Governor level, Trump endorsed 8. He won 8 times. U.S. House, 101 endorsed. He won 101 endorsed in the House, and he won 101. Let me put on the pencil right here and show you this. U.S. Senate, Sean, he has endorsed 8 candidates. And prior to tonight, he had won 8 times. And now you can take the endorsement from 8 to 9 endorsed, and from 8 to 9 winner. Ken Paxton was outspent 9-1. Got the endorsement from Trump, got the endorsement of Wesley Hunt, the congressman who got knocked out 2.5 months ago. And now we got the setup in Paxton and Tellerico. Many Republicans felt if John Cornyn could win tonight, that he could be an easy winner over Tellerico. We'll never know that now. And a lot of Republicans felt that they could save a lot of money too if Cornyn won. But that did not happen. Here's what will happen, Sean, in November. In Texas, probably the most expensive Senate race that we have seen ever. I mean, we were looking at some of the numbers.
What else did I have here? This poll. This poll is perhaps the most important one you've seen yet. Now, again, the polls are, you have to, like, when I read a poll, when I talk about a poll, you should just always know. When I'm talking about a poll, I'm naturally filtering this through the handicapping that you need to apply, recognizing that the polls are have all sorts of issues. They're intentionally rigged. Their sample sizes or their sample distributions are all fucked up. And then there's like a sampling bias issue. The type of person who's actually going to answer that poll selects for a particular type of person. All these sorts of things. With all of that taken into consideration, which party do you think will win the House and the Senate? If you remember, in 2024, there was a French dude who went and did all of his own polling. And this was the question that he put to people. I think it was a variant of this. It was like, who are your neighbors going to vote for? So not who are you going to vote for? Who is your neighbor going to vote for? What's your assessment of the people around you? And he ended up having like the most accurate predictions of all the elections. So which party do you think will win the House or the Senate? House +3, R +3, Senate R +7. I will say that this is actually interesting to me because this is indicative of a more a more plugged in, a more intelligent base than I would expect. That they actually they know enough to know that it's more likely that the Republicans retain a majority in the Senate than in the House. I thought that was kind of interesting that they're aware enough of what the state is currently with the House and the Senate to be more confident in the Senate. But if the people think that this is the party that's going to win, every single result you should probably add like how would you say this? So every single poll is probably biased in favor of Democrats, anywhere from like 5 to 10 points. So every poll that you read, you should just add in just a minimum of like 5 points in favor of Democrats to try to offset some of the bias in it. Some of them are really bad. Some of them are way off. Like the polling around Paxton and Cornyn wasn't even in the same zip code. So for a poll like this to translate to Democrat victory, you would need to move these numbers to the left by like 5 or 10 points. So if the Democrats were favored by like, I don't know, 4 points in the Senate, then that would be like the tipping point where it starts to look like this is going to lead to a pro-Democrat result. The polls all overestimate for Democrats by far. This has been a consistent thing for the entire duration of the existence of MAGA. The polls just do not know how to capture MAGA, whether it's because they're it's sampling people that are like it's like sampling methods that aren't catching the base. They're not getting rural voters well enough. There's something about it, and I think there's an element of that which is propaganda. Like they're intentionally rigged. They're intentionally skewing the polls to create headlines. So every single result that's coming out right now shows that the Republican Party, the base, is fully aligned behind Donald Trump, fully aligned against establishment Republicans, and this is going to put the fear of God in them. So there's going to be some very interesting narratives or trend lines to follow over the next several months, because you're going to see there's a lot of congressional Republicans who are going to be put to the test. And they're going to now be deciding between their own political future one way or the other. It's very clear now, if you are a Republican and you are not a full MAGA Republican, the base wants nothing to do with you. The people who actually cast votes want nothing to do with you. We're getting decades-long incumbents who are being comprehensively thrown out of office. Rand Paul's tone has changed substantially. Rand Paul is now like, no, look at how all the great things Trump is doing. We need to secure the border, end all the fraud. Yes, I'm fully on board with the MAGA agenda. But then there's the ones like Tillis, Cassidy, Cornyn, who are now lame ducks, basically, except for the fact that like they're already on their way out, but they can muck up the proceedings between now and then, which will only continue to accelerate radicalize the voting base against establishment Republicans. So there's a lot of people who are establishment Republicans just because like that's kind of where they've been, the Marco Rubio of several years ago. And they're going to start doing some math here. I would imagine that the money, the funding that they have, if someone like Paxton, if they're willing to ride with Paxton being outspent like 9 or 10 to 1, and they're keeping their powder dry. Number one, their polling is really, really good. Really, really good. Whatever their in-house polling is, they trust it and they're bang on. Because that could be a big gamble. Allowing him to be that wildly outspent was a gamble. There's some real high-level politicking that's going on with this. So if they're allowing those sorts of spending disparities to persist, that tells me that they're preparing to roll out a substantial expenditure for the actual general elections. And then there's so much that's going to happen between now and then. You're going to have the 250th celebrations. You're going to have the end of the Iran war. You're going to have a total collapse in energy prices. You're going to have, I would imagine, some big rollout of the stablecoin policy. And I think this is going to tie into, there's going to be a connection between the rollout of the stablecoin, the new stablecoin infrastructure. Go listen to Tommy's podcast, Tom Luongo, and Matt Dines. This is mandatory, required listening. You must listen to this. It's long, and it's heady, but listen to it multiple times if you need to. The way that Matt Dines is describing the current moment and tying it into historical precedents, talking about Bismarck's Germany, talking about the before and after the Civil War, right around the same time, and how many parallels there are to the current age. It's tremendous. I may have to see if I can have a conversation with Mr. Dines myself. Little mat on mat Patriot action. So yeah, go listen to that. But I'm kind of trying to work through this model in my head. I sort of talked about it on one of the last King Pilled Discord VCs, that I'm expecting there to be a connection between the full rollout of this new stablecoin infrastructure and dividend checks. And that this is going to be what actually ends up satisfying the demand for UBI. I haven't figured out exactly what the mechanisms will be. So I'm trying to, when I get the time to sit and think about these things, I'm trying to connect these in my head. But I think that there's going to be there's so much demand for and expectation for UBI that I think it's kind of like some sort of UBI is inevitable, tying into AI. And I'm not saying it's good. I'm not saying there should be. I'm just saying I think that it's inevitable. And if this is the way that the American people start getting rolled into the new stablecoin infrastructure, then having this kind of monetary revolution framed around dividend checks, treating citizens as shareholders instead of subjects. So framing this up, you've got the sovereign wealth fund, you've got a strategic Bitcoin reserve, you've got tariff revenue, and treating citizens as if they are shareholders and they're actually getting dividend checks. And perhaps those dividend checks are given to them in the form of these of like either a stable coin or some sort of an equivalent of like a treasury, like a greenback straight from the treasury, sidelining the Fed, treating the Fed as just a mediator between the onshore and the offshore market. I'm starting to see some trends that are coming together in this direction. So I would be very surprised if we get to the midterms without some sort of checks being sent out in some form or fashion, whether they're tariff dividends or however they're framed up. But perhaps the way that they're given to people is like, to get it, you have to sign up for some sort of something adjacent to a Trump account. You sign up for that, and then you get access to these things that can be used and spent in certain ways. There's all sorts of programmability and stuff that goes into all of this. So I'm expecting something along those lines. There's so many different ways it could be done that I'm not going to go out and like back myself into a corner and say I think it's going to look exactly like this. But these are sort of the threads that I'm trying to tie together in my head, that it seems as if something like that is inevitable. So there's a ton of so-called bombs that can be dropped, and I think will be dropped between now and the midterms. That I think these sorts of electoral trends are worth monitoring, and I think there's a lot of signal in them right now. But then in the general scope, I think people are wildly underestimating how well Republicans are going to perform in the midterms. Couple quick notes here. I got one from Prowler. A recent WAPO report shows that more illegals who've lived in the U.S. for years are being deported than ever. Aliens with no convictions are the largest group being removed. You hear that? Aliens with no convictions are the largest group being removed. This indicates that Trump is deporting a record number of illegals from the interior, not just border arrivals. There's a couple of graphs here. Median days men spent in the U.S. before being removed. Uh-oh!
Good night, Daddy! Happy anniversary!
Thank you, Bob!
Let's pretend like you, the 20th person that Alvin from Tomorrow's on Starship, and I'm an alien.
You're an alien?
Uh-huh.
What kind of alien are you? What sort of alien does this?
A hug alien.
A hug alien?
Mm-hmm.
Look at that. What do you see up here?
Combine.
A combine? You haven't paid much attention to combines recently, have you? What have you been paying attention to?
Rocket.
Rockets?
And there's another over there.
Yeah, there's another one over there. That's the same one, because this is the live chat, and then the live chat shows up on the screen up here. We're going to have a secret meeting? You need to stay up here, though, not go back behind. What's the podcast that you've been listening to lately?
TSR.
What does TSR stand for?
TSR.
What words does that stand for?
Space race.
The space race. You're very interested in space, aren't you? What space facts have you learned?
Well, did you know Venus can crush rockets?
Venus can crush rockets?
Uh-huh.
Oh my goodness. Why is that?
It's got too much atmosphere.
Too much atmosphere? Look, Mommy posted a bunch of rockets. And people are posting aliens.
How'd that happen?
They're posting it in the chat.
How'd the rockets happen?
They're the emojis that Mommy posted.
Does anyone have any emojis of planets?
You got to talk it into the mic. Sit like right here, not up close, but from right here.
Anyone have emojis of planets?
You can just talk normally. You don't have to yell.
Anyone have
Planets emojis. Let's see. Oh, Mommy did an Earth.
Yeah.
The Earth is centered on America, as it should be.
Is that actually what Earth looks like from space? Oh, and there's Saturn Earth.
There's Saturn.
Saturn Earth.
Saturn Earth? Is that what you call it?
There's Saturn and Earth.
There's the moon?
Where?
Right there.
Oh yeah.
That's the way people make the moon look sometimes, because it looks like when it's part of it's in shadow.
Alien rocket in the sun.
Yep.
Saturn, some aliens.
The JD Vance ball.
New moon, alien. Saturn.
Yeah. What's the 7th planet?
Uranus.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
How do you know that?
Did math.
You did the math?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How tall are you? Yeah, very short now. Did Mommy measure you today? What are you doing? Come here. He's like laying down on the ground. Eastwood, is Pluto a planet?
Nope.
No. Should it be? You don't know? You don't care?
Mm-mm.
Did Mommy measure you today? Yeah, how tall are you?
I can't remember.
Yeah, you're 46.5 inches. You're a tall boy.
There's a bunch of Earths.
There's a bunch of Earths. What shape is the Earth?
A ball.
A ball. Yeah, a lot of people will say that it's an oblate spheroid. Can you say that?
What?
An oblate spheroid.
Oblate spheroid.
No, please leave that alone. Oblate spheroid means that it's like a ball, but it's kind of squished at the top a little bit and bulging out in the middle.
Same thing with Jupiter.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Daddy needs to keep doing his show, okay?
Hold on. Let me tell you some space facts.
Okay.
So.
Stay down off the chair, please.
Okay, Venus is the. Mercury is the smallest planet. Venus is the stinkiest. Earth is the only.
Is that where Fartimus Toot goes? To the stinky
no.
one? Oh.
Earth is the only planet known with life, but Mars almost definitely has life.
Yeah?
Uh-huh.
Are you going to go to Mars someday? Yeah, you want to?
Uh-huh. Jupiter is the biggest. Saturn's the second biggest. 9 Earths stacked side to side still wouldn't be as wide as Saturn. And Uranus is the calmest planet. Neptune has the fastest wings. The fastest winds.
Wow. You've been memorizing lots of space facts, haven't you?
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to be an astronaut someday? Yeah? You can if you want to be.
Why can kids not go to space, Daddy?
Because it takes lots of training. You have to learn how to go to space. And your body has to be able to withstand the experience.
Daddy, I'm going to go down in the freeze. Pretend that I disappeared forever.
Okay. Where is he going? Where'd he go? Oh no, he's gone.
I headed through an alien portal.
You headed for an alien portal?
Uh-huh.
There's some voice in my room that's talking about alien portals. What's that all about? Hey, you can't be back there. Please be careful. Please be careful. Eastwood, Eastwood. You're close to those lights. I don't want you to be. He wants me to pretend that he disappeared forever. All right, bud. It's time for you to go down and go to bed, okay? Can you hand that to me? Hand that to me, please. Thank you. Eastwood. Come on. It's time for you to go downstairs. Can you give me a hug? I love you, big guy. Have a good sleep, okay?
Rising up!
Ah! Ah! I'm being attacked by an alien! Stay off the chair. Stay off the chair. Okay. All right, that's enough. Eastwood. Okay, you've been silly. Everyone saw you be silly. It's time to go downstairs. You don't want mommy to come up and get you. I love you, big guy. Close the door behind you, okay? I don't know if you guys could see the look on his face when I said that. He was like, oh, wait a second. Never let Mr. Sue meet Eastwood. I believe Mr. Sue has met Eastwood, hasn't he? Yeah, you guys were there at the same time. All the energy left his body. Okay, then let's see, one other thing that I had here was, so back to that graph. Look at this graph. So you've got the median days that men spent in the U.S. before being removed. The gray bars down here is everything up until Trump's second term. This is the start of Trump's second administration. So you can see that all of the people being removed in the past were all people who had not been here for very long. But at the start of Trump's second term, all of a sudden now it's people who have been in the U.S. for median multiple numbers of years. I'm sure part of this here is because they're prioritizing the people who they have the closest immediate access to, which is the people who came in most recently. And so if you came in 2020, 2021, 2022, and you're being removed now, then that would square up with about 800 to 1,000 people. But so clearly they're going and actually getting people from inside the country. And then the number of removed men by conviction, you see the purple is those with no conviction. So it's never even really been close in the past. It's always been those with a conviction vastly outnumber those with no conviction who are being removed. That has flipped. That has completely flipped now, where those with a conviction are being removed at all-time high numbers, and those with no conviction are being removed at almost double the rate. And it's even more the case on a rate basis so far this year. This includes men who lived in the U.S. for 3 years or more. More of the men being deported now have lived in the U.S. for years. So you can have your narratives, but then there are numbers, and the numbers do not agree with the narratives. And then this one here, huge development. Secretary Mark Wayne Mullen announces that DHS is drawing up plans to block all international flights into sanctuary cities by ending customs screening there. This is playing hardball. I am a Greg Bovino appreciator. I really appreciate what Greg Bovino has done. I think that he did good work while he was there. But also, the work that he was doing was amplifying the attack surface that the administration had for political obstruction. What he was doing was actually ultimately making it more difficult to deport more people. Very good example of of intention and motivation being divorced from actual impacts. So all of the retard right doomers who say that Trump has abandoned immigration enforcement because we're not getting the big, scary shock troops marching through the streets. There was a time for that. There was a time for people to see that that was a possibility, but that time needed to come to an end. It couldn't stay that way. This sort of thing here, this is vastly, vastly more of a hardball sort of tactic. Just the mere threat of blocking international flights into sanctuary cities by ending customs screening there, this is taking those states by the short hairs, grabbing a big old handful of balls and squeezing. They are squeezing the shit out of them with this. This is what he says.
And house today, Sean. And I said, if they're going to not allow us to go out and arrest the worst of the worst, and then when we call for assistance at the facilities, that the street, it belongs to the city. If it belonged to us, we would take care of it, but it belongs to the city, and they're barricading our employees from coming in and out of the facility, then why are we processing international flights into the airport there? And we are currently, which we're not initiating yet, but we're currently drawing up plans to say, listen, in these sanctuary cities where the local radical left Democrats aren't allowing us to do our job and enforce federal laws, then we shouldn't be processing international flights into their cities either, because they don't want us to enforce immigration, but they want us to process immigration at their facilities. Nothing about that makes sense to me.
Let me tell you something.
You're talking major blue cities who they pride themselves in their cosmopolitan nature. This would be depriving a massive source of revenue for those cities and prestige. No international flights to NYC is going to change things really fast. Yeah, think like NYC, Chicago, Boston, Los Angeles. Imagine these cities no longer being able to get international flights. This is something the federal government can 100% do. They can absolutely refuse to process immigration in those cities. And then the companies are going to be like, well, nobody's going to fly there. So we're not going to service international flights to these cities any longer. And especially with the World Cup coming up, this is, oh baby. This is the sort of policy that's designed to extract immediate knee bending. Remember the last, the shutdown last year. One of the things that actually made the Democrats cry uncle on it was when they began withdrawing air traffic control support for many of those cities. It was that and SNAP funding. Those were the things where local businesses, all the big local powers all went to the governments, the local state governments, and they were like, you need to get your fucking shit together. They went to their congressmen and they were like, this needs to end. This has to stop. I appreciate whatever your political campaign is, but this has to stop. Threatening to economically cripple them if they do not stop with the sanctuary city thing is a very good way to end sanctuary cities versus going and making a big scene in the streets and creating a hub for all the obstruction to center upon, giving them an organizing principle. This is removing their organizing principle. This is just bankrupting them until they choose to play ball. Okay, then I had a couple other things here that Mr. Sue sent over, and then for whatever remains of the stream tonight, I'm just going to scroll through the timeline and see what comes up. If you guys have anything you want to send in the chat or whatever for me to react to or to play or anything like that, then feel free. I've got an open-ended time until my sister texts me and says that she is done with work, and I'm going to go pick her up. Mr. Sue posted this in the Discord earlier. Dad Trap. Day 3 of making Dad Trap. I like this guy.
Stop, man.
Here's another one.
Baby, won't you come my way? Got something I want to say. Can I keep you on my bed? But first off, I'ma start by saying this. Oh, hey, that's the thing, it's like my bitch. And I'm so tired when I shoot, swear I won't miss.
If you are getting married, to throw
It works really well.
Everybody hate who we just call them fans, though. In love with the money, I ain't never let go.
This is combining like 2005 and,
Guys, I got a new 4-hour long.
and 2012 in the weirdest way.
Guys, it happened again. I am.
Yeah, we're starting up.
I think there was another one.
Sometimes I find the wildest live.
Where was it? Yeah, this one.
Yeah, baby. My niggas stack their money just to spend it. 'Cause when you die, you cannot take it with you. If you ain't beefing about the money, then what's the problem? Don't worry about my niggas, 'cause I got them. My niggas stack their money just to spend it. 'Cause when you die, you cannot take it with you. And if you ain't beefing about no money, then what's the problem?
Dad Trap. This is a heretofore unthought of derivation of White Boy Summer. Here's another one that Mr. Sue sent earlier. I haven't actually watched this one, so you can blame him if it sucks.
Fucking banana bread at work today, dude. Hell yeah. My mom told me if I wait for things, like good things will come. And fucking I waited for some things and got some banana bread at work today, dude. Hell yeah. So it just goes to show that waiting for things is like totally worth it. But there's a lot of bad things in this world, like fucking skunks, dude. Hell no. Scratching your eye, but it's still fucking itchy, dude. Hell no! The fucking cops, dude! Hell no! Like getting paid, not a lot of money, dude, for fucking working! Hell no! But banana bread and fucking work, dude! Hell yeah! Hell yeah, bro! Hell yeah, banana bread, bro, and fucking work, dude! Hell yeah! Dude, I got some fun.
Okay, he got me in the latter half. That was I was about to nope out of it, and then it took a turn. That was some Cooper shit right there. Okay, my wife just sent me this one. Here we got a wife jack submission.
Just found out that someone that I thought was gay isn't gay anymore. More specifically, I thought she was a lesbian. I mean, she was definitely with a woman when I knew her 17 years ago. And now, I found out recently, she got married to a man. And my mind's just a little blown. And I know what you're thinking. You shouldn't care about that. That's none of your business. Why just let people live their lives, Brady? 99% of the time, I would agree with you. But not this time. This one's a little bit my business. It's a little bit my business, actually. Because 17 years ago,
if you survive,
I had to apologize.
Thank you for resubscribing, Tyler.
To her for something I said that around the gay topic, and I apologized to her under the presumption that I was apologizing to a gay person. But she's not gay. She's bisexual. Somewhere in her heart, there was still space for wiener. And I don't think in that situation she should have accepted my apology. I think she should have reclused herself and had someone else accept the apology for what
Stolen
I
valor.
did, and what I said. I know you were thinking, what did I do? I'll tell you what I did. Okay, I'll tell you what I did. I dropped a tray of instruments and I made a huge mess. And I was frustrated because I had to clean it up. And I said, well, it was reported that I said, "That's so gay." And that's not what I said exactly. Exactly what I dropped the tray of instruments, and exactly what I said was, "Gay!" Like that. Kind of loud. Was that insensitive? Yes, it was. Yep, it was. And I didn't mean for it to be. I definitely didn't want to hurt someone's feelings, but it did hurt someone's feelings. And then she told on me. And they came to me, they're like, "You can't say that's so gay." And I was like, "I didn't say that. I said gay." And they're like, "That's the same thing, and you can't say that." So I was like, well, when I found out I hurt someone's feelings, I felt bad. And I didn't want to do that. I didn't mean to do that. So I was like, well, the right thing to do is to apologize. So I was like, does she want me to apologize? I'm happy to. And they're like, yeah, we actually do think that would be best. So I did. To her face. I was like, I'm really sorry. This is just something I grew up with. I have to change. I do want to change this. I'm going to try to do better. And I'm really sorry that I hurt your feelings. And then she's sitting there thinking, I'm going to accept this apology on behalf of the gays, and she's not gay. So I officially rescind my apology to her, not to the gays. I'm really sorry for what I said to the gays, but not to the bisexuals, and not to any bisexual, and definitely not to her. So this is an official not sorry to her. I just found out that someone that I...
Okay, I'm going to follow him to then never see his stuff because I'm never on Instagram. Dr. Brady Smith. This guy's a dentist? Oh, he's the guy who just laughing my gas off. I've seen that. I've never watched it, but I've seen that before. Dr. Brady Smith. That's just funny. There's no such thing as bisexuals. There's just women, and then there's guys who like to practice gayness. There's no such thing as bisexuals. He had an amazing breakdown of why dental shit is so expensive. Man, okay, I'd like to know about that. I need to. Where's he from? Where what do I have to do to go get dental work from Dr. Brady? Medicare fraud? Yes, I'm so shocked, I say. Okay, then let's see. What else did I have? So I got a couple here sent over by Nevsky. We've got an Instagram link.
Send this video to nigga. Epstein, fuck niggas.
Yes!
Epstein, fuck niggas. Epstein, fuck niggas. Jews.
It's a banger!
Jews.
Oh, baby!
Jews. These damn Jews. I'm sorry, I'm a nigger.
Incredible. Thank you, Nevsky. Then this one here, I retweeted this earlier today. This is what the libs are going through. Alex Palmer with the shit flag. I feel so demoralized as a liberal right now. The bad guys are winning and shoving it in our faces. Republicans keep gerrymandering. We just don't do anything about it. If things don't change, Republicans will have control forever. Yeah, baby. Howling Bones, Patriot. We love our howlers, don't we, boys? Why does it look like a bunch of David Gornowskis? It's a dance party now. Oh, what a banger. Sorry, not faggy enough. Okay, what else do we got here? We got something from Camo Aquaticus. Two somethings from Camo Aquaticus. Let's see. We got this one. We got this one. Okay, so first of all, I didn't see this earlier today. The White House posted, "Today, we remember a legend. On this day in history, Harambe would have celebrated another birthday. An icon that became a part of internet history, American culture, and an entire generation's timeline. Tomorrow marks 10 years since we lost him. 10 years since the moment the world stopped scrolling and collectively mourned something bigger than a meme. He became a symbol of loyalty, strength, chaos, unity, and the strange beauty of the internet, bringing millions of people together for one cause, never forgetting Harambe. Everyone remembers where they were when they heard the news, and somehow, a decade later, his legacy still lives on. Gone, but never forgotten. Rest easy to a true patriot. May 27, 1999 to May 28, 2016. You mean they shot my nigga the day after his birthday? Forever in our hearts. And now we celebrate."
This song goes out to everyone who's been pulling their dicks out for Harambe. Rest in power, my brother. Just know you're not forgotten. Let's go. We are all Harambe, all Harambe.
Oh, it's a banger!
All Harambe, all Harambe. Yes, we are all Harambe, all Harambe, all Harambe, all Harambe. Yes, we are all Harambe, all Harambe, all Harambe, all Harambe. Yes, we are all Harambe, all Harambe, all Harambe, all Harambe. Why did it have to happen? I remember that fateful day. A mother left a child astray, down in Harambe's cage. What were the parents thinking when the child left their grasp? Security pulled the trigger. Who knew that breath would be his last? Bring him back, bring him back, bring him back, with Gorilla Glue. Bring him back, bring him back, bring him back, with Gorilla Glue. Bring him back, bring him back, bring him back, with Gorilla Glue. Bring him back, bring him back.
It's touching me!
Why does everybody treat me like I'm in a fucking zoo? When I pull my dick out, Harambe knows just what I'm all about. I just hope he's up in hell, pulling his dick out, cranking this to 11. Late at night I hope I dream that the fucking parents can hear Harambe scream. We did our best to turn away, but you shot him like JFK. To the left, to the back, to the left, to the back, to the left, to the back. Fuck you, Cincinnati Zoo.
Hey, dicks out for Harambe.
So true! Camo Aquaticus says the guy doing the song is the host of Drinkin' Bros podcast and author of the book At Night She Cries While He Rides His Steed, the first ever romance novel for dudes. Trump has apparently read or listened to the book and loves it. Incredible lore. Incredible lore. Who knew? Who knew that Dicks Out for Harambe was the precursor to the MAGA cock? All right, this one's from Kingless Kingdom. Behold, it's Tucker. Behold, our newest ad campaign. HRT. Are you sure this will help us win? Win?
What is that?
What is winning? And then another wife jack submission. Looks like this is maybe this is the one she was talking about. Dr. Brady, another example of why solve the problem when the people in charge are getting rich by keeping the problem a problem.
About government corruption lately. The kid in Minnesota who discovered all the daycare problems. Spencer Pratt running for mayor of LA, talking about the wildfire corruption and the homelessness problem and why fix the problem if you can get rich off keeping poor people poor. Well, the same thing happens with Medicaid dental at the government level. And I just saw Karen Bass do a little speech thing where she was talking about how meth addicts lose all their teeth and how sad that is. And that there should be comprehensive dental care for everybody. I couldn't agree more. What a wonderful thing that would be to provide that. In an interview, an interviewer shrewdly asked her, well, where's all that money going to come from? Well, good news from Dr. Brady. The money's there. It's just allocated poorly, but it's already being spent on dental services. The United States spends well over $20 billion on dental services through the Medicaid program. At the state level, it's about $500 million that every state has. Some states more, some states a little bit less. But it's a large amount of money that could absolutely pay for root canals and implants and the Rolls Royce of dental treatment if it wasn't allocated so poorly. You see, more than 60% of Medicaid funds go to federally qualified health centers, not private providers like me. I've been a Medicaid provider for 17 years in 2 different states. Someone comes to me and they need an exam and a cleaning. I might get paid $50 or $60 for that. A federally qualified health center gets paid $800. They got to do it in 2 visits because they're paid by encounter. They're paid the same amount of money. Every encounter is worth about $300 to $400 to them. So when you come in for an exam, you're like, I want a cleaning in the same visit. Oh, you got to come back for that. That's how we do it here, because they get paid another $400. So an exam and cleaning, they get paid $800. How much dentistry do you think they're doing? Not a lot, because if you need 8 fillings, that's 8 visits times $400. That's $3,200. I can do 8 fillings. I get paid about $500 for that, and I can do it in 1 visit. That's the nice thing, right? So who's getting rich over at the federally qualified health centers? Is it the dentists? No, that's a salaried position over there. They get paid $120, $150K a year. Pretty low for a dentist, actually. It's the clinic directors. It's a $600,000, $800,000 a year position. Over $1 million. I'm aware of a few that are over $1 million. How do they get those jobs? That's above my pay grade, ladies and gentlemen. But I do know, if you want to find out why they keep the poor in dentistry, look at the clinical directors of FQHCs. A lot of talk about government corruption lately.
Yeah, the clinic directors. Turns out you put a bunch of, stack a bunch of bureaucrats. This reminds me of how people will look at the like expenditures at a hospital or other medical facilities, and they the actual what the actual providers themselves are making hasn't changed that much, but it's been the increase in all of the bureaucratic and administrative staff that are all piled on there, mostly to keep up with all the different regulations that they've had to, good grief, that they've had to navigate around.
Here we go.
Alpha male alert!
Here comes the money.
Dave combobulated! Thank you, sir, for the $100 from Dave Combobulated, one of our great patriots. Thank you, my man. I appreciate you. You've put us within shouting distance of the goal tonight. We're a mere $86.24 away from the goal, and someone winning a little bit of cheddar tonight. This is not Gay Dave. Yes. Thank you, Dave. I appreciate you, man. I was just looking at, I opened up my notifications to see if there was something that had come in there.
Welcome to the Gulag. If you survive, you earn your
ball
freedom.
bags! 5 gifted subs. Thank you, Bobby Ballbags. Congratulations to Hope Pilled, Logan, Lord Breezy, Nevsky, and Douglas Archer. Look at all those Patriots. I know every single one of you guys. Thank you, Ballbags. Appreciate you. You got Nevsky. He was asking for it. He got it. Dave Cabobulated is great. Got to meet the guy up in Washington State when we were there. We did our meetup. A wonderful, generous fellow. I appreciate you, man. Hopefully we'll see you next time we're up there. So Seth Keschel, guy I was just telling you about, he just posted this. He said, "Don't let the big margin fool you. There's a lot more behind it than simply the most powerful endorsement around, and they stand to have long-term impact. Today's newsletter outlines 3 Texas-sized takeaways from Paxton's dominant runoff victory." Linked in the first comment. So I just, I've been subscribed to Seth Keschel for a while. I'm paying, I think I pay like $6 a month, but he moved what he's doing. I've got to figure out how I can get unsubscribed from his other one. But I just subscribed to his new one, and I recommend it. This is the best election analysis that you're going to get. This is CaptainK.us is his Substack. 3 Texas-sized takeaways from Paxton's dominant runoff victory. The rules are simple. Get Trump's agenda passed or find a new career. I predicted yesterday's outcome long ago. 3 reasons why Ken Paxton will deliver a Texas-sized ass-whooping to John Cornyn. This was April 9, 2025. He says, "It took longer to get there than I had originally thought, and it turned out Ken Paxton's long-awaited Trump endorsement was, in fact, the catalyst for the landslide victory. But it happened nonetheless. The results are brutal, telling, and decisive." Here's the, with 97.8% of expected votes in, what is that, a 27-point margin of victory? Unless something flips with the remaining 2% left to be counted, incumbent 4-term Senator John Cornyn will have won just 2 counties over Texas's Attorney General. The first is Texas's freak show, Travis County, which contains the state capital of Austin. The second is Kennedy County, buried deep in South Texas and won by Cornyn by a margin of 6 votes to Paxton's 2. X is filled with concerned trolls, Cornyn supporters, and Tallarico diehards, all questioning the basic decency of their neighbors a full 11 years into the Trump era. The map above makes it clear to me. Pass the agenda or find a new career. It doesn't matter if you're nice or if you've never gone through a divorce or if you went to seminary. We don't vote because you're nice. We vote because you'll get stuff done. Or you didn't when you had 24 years to do it. I understand some reading this newsletter will say, "But what about this?" or bring up something Paxton has going on. But the proper question is, what have you done for me lately? Had the Senate hulked up and pushed the Save America Act across the finish line come hell or high water, Cornyn would have likely received Trump's endorsement, and this would have been over with a long time ago. Now, it is indeed over, and in the manner I predicted last April. I see 3 giant takeaways that must be understood as we move from a primary environment to the big show, when Paxton will take on the latest Democrat freak, James Tallarico, who appears to have been created by some sort of Austin-owned artificial intelligence application. Number 1, Trump is still the boss.
Never listen to a panikin.
The only acceptable political theory is complete undying loyalty to Donald Trump.
Trump's endorsements are made of gold. Everyone reading this article today has been frustrated when their grassroots candidate didn't get that endorsement because it's understood what will inevitably happen. These are nearly 100% effective in getting the nomination of Trump's choice, and I can't recall off the top of my head when the last time was that Trump's pick didn't win in a primary. Georgia and Nebraska gubernatorial races come to mind. There are picks that disappoint, picks that are expected and unspectacular, and then there are the, "oh damn, he went there" picks that show he's tired of the status quo. Ask Bill Cassidy and Cornyn, or wait and see how it works with Lisa Murkowski on the chopping block in 2 years. What is most clear about recent results is that not only do GOP voters clearly want Trump's agenda passed, so do the unaffiliated voters. Texas has an open primary, which allows for Democrat voters to vote in GOP races, so long as they didn't vote in the Democrat primary in the first round. Dade Phelan, the awful former Texas Speaker of the House, survived his primary challenge this way by gaming the runoff, and so did Thad Cochran in Mississippi's 2014 Senate primary. What a name. Thad Cochran. I think Trump's biggest test for his endorsement strength looms in next month's hotly contested runoff between Rick Jackson and Lieutenant Governor Burt Jones for the GOP gubernatorial nomination. Both men likely have a floor of at least 46% and will be duking it out for soft GOP support in the Atlanta metro. Math aside, I wouldn't want to be the man going against Trump's endorsement, and the Paxton-Cornyn result, with the Attorney General holding a lead greater than 27%, informs a rational mind that the approval ratings for President Trump are blatant fabrications meant to disrupt his agenda and throw his administration into chaos. Keep this in mind. This is unavoidably, obviously true. That approval ratings for President Trump are blatant fabrications meant to disrupt his agenda and throw his administration into chaos. Keep that in mind when you see people who cite Trump's approval ratings critically. They're either bad faith actors or they're just stupid. They don't know how to learn from witnessing things happen in front of them. No informed mind could believe Trump's approval rating is hovering in the 30s. Big takeaway number 2, Latinos doom Democrat hopes. The future of the Republican Party comes down to states with conservative white voters and Latinos. In this sense, I feel good about North Carolina and bad about Georgia. Georgia doesn't have much of a Latino population, roughly 6%, and its white population, though strongly Republican, is drifting left as the Atlanta metro expands as a share of the state's population. In contrast, the segment of North Carolina's population with the largest growth from 2010 to 2020 was Latinos, which expanded by 40%. States with white liberals, like California, will maintain policies that keep Latinos poor and living in enclaves. Studies show that Latinos begin to identify with their social values when, and only when, they can afford to eat. That has been the model in Texas for many years. Democrats salivate over census data showing more Hispanic than non-Hispanic whites, allowing the Obama-era demographic destiny euphoria to prevail, when in fact Texas contains so many Rodriguezes and Hernandezes who are whiter than the driven snow and married into families of standard whites, driving massive pickups and looking for room to breathe outside of the crowded concrete hellscapes now stretching across the Lone Star State. Even Mitt Romney's people knew that once Latino families cleared $50,000, or $72,520 today, in household income, the shift rightward was sharp. Think about that. In Mitt Romney's time, $50,000 was equivalent to $73,000 today. Once Trump's populism had time to marinate, here were the results in Hispanic South Texas. So look at the blue down here along the border in 2004, then 2008, 2012. These are virtually the same map. 2016, and then suddenly, starting to notice a little crack here in 2020, and then 2024. A red wave, they might say. I already shared those tweets earlier. So in El Paso County, Paxton, which is 82.6% Hispanic, Paxton is up 31 points, 31%. In Hidalgo County, which is 92% Hispanic, Paxton is up 37%. In Harris County, which is 43% Hispanic but most populous in Texas, he's up 29%. Paxton ran ahead of his statewide margin in the selected counties above, and somehow these massive margins coincide with an endorsement from the first candidate to win 55% of the Hispanic vote in a Texas presidential election in many decades, and the first to win certain counties in modern history. This working-class Hispanic vote, if it remains GOP-aligned, spells permanent doom for Democrats, who cannot get enough white liberals to move to Austin at a fast enough rate to offset the coalition shift in progress. It will result in greater Republican margins in Harris, Bexar, and all DFW counties that Democrats would require greater margins in to win by even the slimmest of margins. It appears that Paxton was the law and order candidate the Latino voters preferred. And then the third point, substance over appearance. In The American War on Election Corruption, my best-selling book, Paxton is portrayed as a key player in the fight for secure elections. He remains the most significant attorney general to have sounded off about the obvious corruption and hosted me in his office in 2021 when it was the most important topic on anyone's mind. In the immediate aftermath of the 2020 election, it was Paxton's office that filed the most significant case. That case was Texas v. Pennsylvania, which alleged that the electoral malfeasance in Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, and Georgia disenfranchised Texas's 38 electors. 17 other Republican attorneys general joined in on the suit, which was thrown up at the Supreme Court for lack of standing. Here's how I wrote it up. Third, judicial corruption and the unwillingness of many high courts to insert themselves into divisive issues, especially those that can be argued to take place at the state level, thwarted the best shots we had. Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton filed a brilliant suit, Texas v. Pennsylvania, which alleged that the mishandling of elections by defendant states Pennsylvania, Georgia, Michigan, and Wisconsin disenfranchised Texas's 38 electors, which voted for Trump. 17 other states signed on to the lawsuit, which was never taken up by the U.S. Supreme Court. If the states, and even the president himself, don't have standing to challenge corrupt elections, then who does? Courts have tipped the scales before, like when the Supreme Court gave George W. Bush the win over Al Gore in Florida's infamous 2000 election, which helped usher in electronic voting systems. But in 2020, it seemed to be a full court press to ensure that the arguments asserting the corruption of the quasi-election never received a full and public hearing. Back to today. The fact that our highest court threw out the case doesn't detract from the clear proof that Attorney General Paxton knows the threat to our electoral system is a terminal one if left untreated. Once elected to the Senate, Paxton will immediately be at the top of the pile among senators who are hell-bent on saving our elections. And if you know the hour in which we live, you must realize this is paramount to everything.
If you survive, you earn your freedom.
Thank you for the gifted sub, Emperor Atreides, and congratulations to Mike Ridiculous. This result goes far beyond the president's pick winning once again. It sets aside the narrative that Trump is unpopular, that the Latino shift was a flash in the pan, and that other things take the place of putting a permanent end to the corruption of our institutions. And this is Seth Keshel here. He is a tall drink of water. Seth Keshel, MBA, a former Army captain of military intelligence and Afghanistan veteran, is the author of The American War on Election Corruption. His analytical method of election forecasting and analytics is known worldwide, and he has been commended by President Donald J. Trump for his work in the field. Seth Keshel is a patriot. All right, let me check, see if she is ready. She is not. All right. So if you guys have any other links or anything you want to send over to me to read or play or what have you, then go for it. Let me pull over my timeline here, and we will scroll the timeline for a little bit until my sister's ready. Governor Newsom press office. California will impose a 100% tax on payments distributed from Trump's January 6th slush fund. Incredible. Incredible the audacity of these people. See, every once in a while you refresh the old timeline and you see things you never imagined that you would see. It's funny, they tweeted this picture out of him eating like a big old blackened, I don't know if it was like a chicken wing or something like that. Look at me. I am Texan. John Doyle, I think we won. So true. John Doyle, the Patriot. Make sure you guys consume your daily John Tent. Good one that dropped today. Him making fun of Hassan Piker. It was very good. Hispanics and Anglos have had territorial disputes over Texas for 200 years just for Jeets to come yesterday and take it. This is the best piece yet at distilling what the Spencer Pratt phenomenon is all about. His rise represents the shattering of the honesty taboo in Los Angeles and other poorly governed big blue cities like it. That's interesting. I actually have a Spencer Pratt piece that I was going to read tomorrow. So I'm going to pull this out and save that and not get into that right now. Pirate Wires. I knew they were going to be big proponents of Pratt's Summer. You guys wanted to play Ethnoguesser? Yeah, John went from episode 66 to 68. I saw that. That's silly boy. All right, let's play some Ethnoguesser. What is it? It's hbd.gg. Oh, we've got a UI update. Test your knowledge of human diversity. What do we got here from Kate? Integrating financial technology innovation into regulatory frameworks. Actually, yeah, I have this backlogged as something else to get into, so I'll save that for later. What do we got here from Nematoder? This one is just fun. All right, let's do this, and we'll play some Ethno Guesser.
Flagons I drank tonight. I lost count and I don't even know how to count. Is Gort at the tavern? Unfortunately, yes. He is. Gort the Surf. I drank purple elixir tonight. I don't know where I'm at. Gort, we'll come find you.
Are you Gort?
Gort, where are you?
Oh, he's up here.
Oh, he's on stage.
Gort, put the loot down. That's not yours.
That's not yours.
Come on, Gort.
You shouldn't touch that.
Please. They're requesting a freestyle.
Oh, no, we shan't. We shan't.
We really shan't.
Unless...
Whoops. Hold on. We'll come back to that one in just a minute. Oh!
Step into the tavern with my chains on. Loot's bumping, maidens jumping to the same song. I start to perspirate, you know it's getting serious. The way that dame is moving has me feeling quite delirious.
I like my maidens well fed with a good face. Heard she bakes good bread. May I request a taste?
That's enough, that's enough. Gort, you killed them. Oh, he just threw up. Gort is being asked to leave. We'll release a full version tomorrow, but
let's
right now
handle
we need to help Gort out. I can't even tell you how many flagons.
Man, Gort was dropping some fire. What a shame. Okay, this one is another Wife Jack submission. Oh, yes. This one had me dying the other day. It's so good.
Care.
Oh, God! That's why I love Nestle. You ever put butter on a Pop-Tart? It's so freaking good.
Get her on the fucking phone right now. That shit fucking hurts. So we got on free, Al?
Yeah.
Free!
Oh!
My God! Oh! Oh! Fuck! No! Get it out! Take it out, motherfucker! I don't get no goddamn Very rude. Oh, you little bitch.
Are y'all ready?
Dad's cussing.
God damn! 2 pieces. Ow! 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 Oh my God! Ow! 1, 2, 3.
Jesus, Jesus!
No! No!
No! I hate you guys so much.
Oh!
Alright.
Just cruel. No, this may not happen. Waxing armpit hair. Yes. Completely uncalled for. Totally unacceptable. Ben Shapiro on 2X has something. What do we got here? An EWPSX submission. Ooh. Okay, we'll get back to the Ethno Guesser. I want to see this. I had this bookmarked and I haven't had the chance to watch it yet. This is if System of a Down wrote Where's Your Head At?
Let's get fucked up in Hollywood. Okay, are you ready? Operator, are you ready? Don't let the walls cave in on you. We can live on without you. Don't let the walls cave in on you. We can live on without you. Don't let the walls cave in on you. We can live on without you.
It totally does look like Sid. Banger! That's Munich Productions. This is the same guy who did the System of a Down Fireflies, which is also very good. Okay, let me do this ethno guesser here. You guys are dropping a bunch of other links in, but I want to make sure I get the ethno guesser done before my sister texts me that she has to go. So we're going to test our knowledge of human diversity, faces from ethnic groups around the world, and guess their origins. Hold on, what are the different modes they have? Same as always? Genomes. The Daily Challenge. 5 ethnicities drawn from 48 modern-day countries. The Classic Daily. And you can zoom into the different regions. Okay, this is basically what they've had before. I think Austronesian is new. And they've got Doggo Guesser as well. Okay, so let's do the Daily Challenge. Oh man, I gotta suit up. I haven't done this in a while now. So this here is definitely gonna be somewhere between Mongolia and like Alaska. This is like Eskimo adjacent. Could also be like Finnish. Depends. There's a lot of Finns that kind of have some of these features. I'm going to guess Mongolia. Ooh. Inuit. Actually would have been Alaska or northern Canada. So the Inuits, man, this thing jumps all over the place. Esquimid proper type, ranging over the vast, sparsely populated tundra along the icy coasts of Alaska, Nunavut, and Labrador, to Greenland, mainly found in Inuit people. This is just straight up Inuit. All right, this is the first, as soon as I see that, the first thing that comes to mind is like Polish, Ukrainian, Belarusian, Lithuanian maybe. I'm going to say Belarus because it's kind of central to all of those. Okay, a little bit further north. Still, what did it give me? It gave me a 3,000, 3,040. I can do better than that. This is the Latagan, ancient, mostly Europid type of northeastern Europe and western Siberia, associated with the ancient Kamkaramic culture. Kamkaramic. Probably played a role in the formation of modern Uralids and Baltids, survives in people of the Ural region. In low frequencies, it extends west to Europe and east to the Altai. Okay, so that was a little bit better. Okay. All right, so now I'm going to give you guys a chance. You guys tell me what you think. I've got my decision. Detroit. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to see what you guys, if you guys can arrive at a consensus. Ghana. Nematoder says Ghana. Blaine says Atlanta. Yeah, definitely. Somalia. Yeah, West Africa. Yeah, I definitely don't think Somalia. From Troy. Yeah. Okay, she just texted me that she's done, so I'm gonna go a little bit quicker here. Nigeria or Congo? Nigeria was what I was gonna say. Cote d'Ivoire. All right, I'm going to say Nigeria. Ooh, a little further south. Angola, Zambia, Zimbabwe. This is the Central Bantuid. 3,500. That's not too bad. Cameroon would have been a little better. Gabon, Congo. So Mrs. Kingpilled said Congo. That was the closest. Okay, this. Okay, Let me make it. I'll make it a little bit bigger. Can I? Here we go. Let me make this a little bigger so you guys can see it better. New Mexico, Siberia, Mongolia. These are the ones that can be really hard because this can either be like northeastern Asian, or it could also be down in Nematoder says Peru. Peru is what I was thinking. South America. Yeah, I was thinking South America. So I'm just gonna go for it. Let's say Peru. Give me my, I gotta zoom out over here. Okay, here we go. So what does it say? It says, ooh, it was even further south. South Anded. So Argentina and Chile. So it is South America. We were definitely on the right track there, but in actual miles, we're only a 1,400 score. The southernmost Anded variety, somewhat influenced by Patagonid. The dominant type in Mapuche, native to Chile. More mixed in the extinct Chonos of South Chile. Although disease reduced numbers drastically after contact with the Spanish, the type spread east across Patagonia until the 18th century during a process of Aracanization and gave rise to blends with Patagonids. So these were the let's see, that would have been, is that Mayan? I think the Mayans. Were the Mayans further south or were the Incans further south? I can't remember now. Okay, here we go. I have, let's see. Okay, I've got my choice. Nematoder says China, Korea, South China, Vietnam, Chinese. Okay, yeah, so Chinese was my first thought too. And I was going to say South China as well. So let's go with that. Ooh, not even close. Kazakhstan, largely. So this is the airlid type, the West Tungid variety of the vast Central Asian steppes, influenced by Turanid, developed in ancient times when Hunnic, Avar, and Chasar expansions replaced older Turanid, Mediterranean, and Nordid populations. Today is most common in the Kazakhs, but also in other Turkic people like the Kyrgyz, Uzbeks, and Tatars. Tatar, you mentioned! All right, we're halfway through. Not doing great. All right, here's another one of these. I've got my answer. This is kind of a tough one, actually, because the two of them look very different. If I saw just him, I would have a different answer than if I saw just her. Looks like Kanye. What do you guys think? Kenyan? Says Tooz McGee. Any other guesses? Niggistan. Kanye. Haitian? That's an interesting guess. All right. I should look where I'm scrolling. So Ugandan was my guess. Now there's something looking at them that said like northern, more in the Ethiopian, Somalian, Ethiopian kind of area, but I'm going to guess Uganda. Ooh, it's further south. Man, doing terrible. South Africa, Lesotho, Eswatini. You guys remember hearing about Eswatini with the Maryland man guy? There's Eswatini down there. Whoa. Today I learned It won't let me zoom in any further, I don't think. Oh, yeah, here we go. Oh, no. Here we don't go. Here we do go. Where'd that go? Where was it? I saw it for a second there. There was a Gaza in here. I didn't know there was a Gaza in Africa. Someone let the Israelis know. They've been getting it wrong this whole time. Well, it disappeared on me. But I swear I saw a Gaza somewhere down in the southern part of Africa. Okay, so that's the South Bantuid type, typified by Zulu, Swasi, Baka, also in Makua, Kwanyama, and a bunch of other words that I'm not allowed to pronounce because I'm an American. Oh, okay, this is an interesting one. What say you fellas? We found some whites, perhaps. This is kind of a tough one. This could be a number of different places. These are Iowans, yeah. Polacks, Belarus, Dutch, definitely Great Britain or Germany, maybe Swiss, Hungary, Herzegovina. We're all over the place. Spanish. Yeah, this one, I have a feeling this one's probably going to be spread out a good deal around different parts of Europe. But when I first saw it, my gut said somewhere in the UK. But then I also wouldn't be surprised if it was somewhere down around the Mediterranean as well, and it could be a number of different places around there. So I'm just going to go with my gut, and I'm going to say in the UK. Boom! Not quite a 5,000, but close. 4747. What did they mean by this? Paleo-Atlantid, ancient type that is sporadically found in northern and western Europe, usually only in relict populations. A resemblance with Cro-Magnons has been stressed by some authors. Strongest concentrations in southern Norwegian mountain valleys. Western Scotland and Ireland. Has a tidal subvariety in Scandinavia. It's my people. He looks like a Warhammer Space Marine. Yeah. This is these are Anglos. All right. Round 8. Oh, okay. Yeah, I got my guess on this one straight away. What do you guys say about this? Yeah, proof that Iowans are heritage Americans. So true, Trust Plan Sar. Any guesses on this one? Peru, says Mrs. Kingpilled. Dakota, says Nematoder. Ecuador. New Delhi. So we've got a Peru and an Ecuador. We've also got a Dakota. Well, I am with Nematoder on this one. I think this is a Plains, like Plains Indian. But I think it's a little more southwest. And some of these are some of them will kind of have spread out territories. So I'm going to say somewhere around like Kansas, Oklahoma. Ooh. East Coast. The Appalachid. A sylvid subtype native to the North American Atlantic forests from the Great Lakes to the Appalachians. Shows some Europid traits, not only phenotypically but also genetically. This could be due to early colonial admixture or Proto-Europid migrations across the Atlantic or the Bering Strait, the latter being the most likely. Common in East Algonquins and Iroquois, more mixed in Micmac, Cherokee, Cree, and others. Rare today in pure form. Light yellowish-brown skin, the name redskin came from war coloring. Straight or wavy black hair. So 2581, not terrible. But, yeah, there's definitely, I saw this and I thought like Sioux was what I was thinking. All right, this is round 9 of 10. We got 2 more. This one and 1 more. What are your guesses for this one? Yeah, I think I've got my guess. Taiwan, Japanese, Chinese, Japanese, Laos, China somewhere. Laos is actually Vietnam. Laos is actually an interesting guess. I was going to say Southern Chinese. So, and you guys are saying Vietnam, Laos. I'll say over here. We'll say right around here. Oops, not there. There. Ooh, man. Having a rough one of it today. Mongolian. This is the Gobid type. Tungid variety of the vast Central Asian deserts and steppes, e.g. the Gobi in southern Siberia, developed in ancient stock farming nomads and was found in Huns, Avars, and Mongols, who migrated west and produced aralids, etc. Today most typical in the Buryat Mongolians and Tuvans, also in Yakut, South Altaians, and even some Kazakhs and a bunch of others. There's Chinese and Japanese in there. So we were just barely in the pink. Barely in the pink. All right, last one. What was that score? Oh, it gave me 5,000 for that. Oh, because there's like a couple little hubs right down here. So it actually gave me 5,000 for that. It gave me a bullseye. Neat. All right, last round. Oh, yeah. This one seems pretty obvious to me. What do you guys think? Hey, Ahoya. One of them, Utah Utes, Plains Indians, Sioux, Cherokee. 100% Sioux. Yeah. Definitely. I'm going to go, I'm going to say Wyoming-ish. See, so the last one was a 5,000. Last one was a bullseye, but this one's only 43.41. Pshaw. All right, so average of 27.04 over 10 rounds. Scored in the top 19% of today's players. Maybe I'm too hard on myself. 19% is not too bad. Top 19%. Remind me to play Ethno Guesser on stream more often. I need to keep my racist cred up. All right, let me just play this one. Oh no, it wasn't that one. It was this one. Let me do this one first. A couple last wife jack submissions.
HOA president is about to lose her presidency to me. Osama bin Laden is going to get voted out from this neighborhood. And I know you're like, Jeremiah, I like the catch of your jib. You seem like an awesome guy. You're funny, incredibly good looking. I know you're thinking all of these things. But you're also thinking, I want to know what you stand for. We're going to start with this one. I don't want to come in, now everybody's lawn looks terrible. So there is going to be some violations. But instead of fines, we're going to do something called the flamingo of shame. If you commit a violation, we will put the flamingo of shame in your yard until the violation is fixed. We'll have re-education classes, but it's just a barbecue. Your dues go into an account. Whatever we don't use, you get back at the end of the year, or you can use towards your next year's dues. We'll call it the Neighbor Bailout Fund. Instead of fines, the HOA helps people fix issues. You need your fence repaired? We use the community fund to help you out. I mean, every year we all vote on whether or not we dismantle the HOA. Party permit fast track. If your party has smoked queso, it's automatically approved. We call it the neighborhood beef mediation. All disputes between neighbors must be settled through either cornhole, a dad joke competition, and or smoked meat competition. We have Lawn of the Month. The neighborhood votes every month on whose lawn is the best, and whoever wins, we get a trash can. We paint it gold. They get the gold trash can for a month. A suspicious activity reporting reform. Before filing a complaint, on our website, we'll make it to where, they want to file a complaint, residents have to wait 10 10 minutes and ask themselves in the process, could I simply mind my own business? No snitch left behind. Residents filing complaints must also submit a Chipotle gift card, a handwritten note, and one nice thing about the accused. Oh, Crocs are no longer banned. This sounds like an HOA you want to be a part of. All fines that were racked up previously are now pardoned. That is what I'm talking about, ladies and gentlemen. I'm a smart man. But in order to be wise, you must surround yourself with people who are also wise. I know you guys have the best ideas, so drop your HOA policy position ideas in the comments. Follow me like my HOA does, and Jeremiah for HOA president. Get out and vote, people. My HOA president...
That sounds like America to me. The bad lawn dad. What does he say here? Thought it was time for you guys to see what I stood for in this HOA president race. Karen is going down. Jeremiah for HOA president. He's got my vote. And lastly, from the great Mrs. King-Pilled, our final Wife Jack submission of the night. Sound of Silence with Celtic vibes.
Oh, darkness, my old friend, I've come to talk with you again, because a vision softly creeping left its seeds when I was sleeping, and the vision that was planted in my brain still remains within the sound of silence. Hello, darkness, my old friend.
It's Sundress Summer, boys. Have yourselves a good night. I'm going to go pick up my sister, and I will catch you guys on the next LABE. Thank you for turning out tonight. Thank you, everyone, for your contributions to Casa de Erickson, through the tip goal, through the gifted subs, all those sorts of things. You guys are wonderful. I love every single one of you. I know Mrs. Kingpill does as well. She calls you guys family for a reason. Go join the Kingpill Discord and get into the inner circle. Kingpilled.com, and I will catch you guys on the next LABE. For now, I leave you with Hulk.
When they took a shot at my hero, and they tried to kill the next president of the United States, enough was enough. And I said, let Trumpomania run wild, brother. Let Trumpomania rule again. Let Trumpomania make America